to all of you.
Okay. And President Zelensky told Jake Tapper yesterday that he wants President Biden to visit Ukraine and he believes that he will. You said last week there were no plans being made for President Biden to go. Is that still the case?
That has not changed. What our focus continues to be on is providing Ukraine, the Ukrainian government, Ukrainian leaders, a historic amount of security assistance that's been adapted based on their needs and their successes on the ground. And obviously, that can be attributed largely to the courage and the bravery of the Ukrainian leaders. But the second reason is because of the military assistance we provided. I would note, because I know this is an understandable question you all have asked, that if anyone were to go, there's no plans for the president to go. So let me just reiterate that. But we would not outline from here or anywhere from the government who, if, and when for security reasons. So we wouldn't have any details to preview regardless.
Is the president considering granting President Zelensky's request to make Russia a state sponsor of terrorism?
So that is a process that it's an authority that obviously exists within the government and at the State Department. And in order, just broadly speaking, for any country to be designated a state sponsor of terror, and there's only three, North Korea, Sudan, and Iran at this point in time, just for your full perspective, the Secretary of State would need to determine the government of that country has repeatedly provided support for acts of international terrorism, and these, of course, designations are made after a careful review. So while we have those authorities, I don't have any update on that or prediction of that. That assessment would be made by the State Department. What I would note, which I think is important, is that for the countries that have been designated state sponsors of terrorism, so I named a couple of them for you, that the four main categories of sanctions that result from designation under these authorities include restrictions on U.S. foreign assistance, a ban on defense exports and sales, certain controls over exports of dual-use items, and other financial restrictions. And what we've already done to date is, of course, impose significant financial sanctions, export controls, and curtailed restrictions on financial assistance. So when you're thinking about the impact, these are already a lot of steps that we've taken, but I have nothing to predict on that front. That's a process that would have to be reviewed through the State Department.
Okay, last question. Russia warned the United States last week to stop arming Ukraine or risk unpredictable consequences. What does the U.S. believe those consequences would be?
Well, we're not going to comment. I'm not going to speculate on empty threats or threats by President Putin or by Russian leadership. What we have done here is done exactly what the president said we would do from the beginning, which is to, if they invaded, we would be providing significant security assistance, economic assistance, and support to the Ukrainian people. And we're going to continue to do exactly that.